The first time Arav held his daughter in his arms, he believed life had finally chosen kindness for him. The hospital room smelled of medicines and fresh flowers. Outside, rain touched the city softly, while inside, his wife smiled weakly from the hospital bed, exhaustion and happiness resting together in her eyes. Arav looked at the tiny child wrapped in white cloth and whispered, "She has your eyes." His wife laughed gently, "And your stubbornness." For years, that small family became his entire world. Arav worked long hours as an architect, often returning home after midnight, exhausted yet satisfied. No matter how tiring the day had been, the moment his daughter ran into his arms calling, "Papa," the weight on his shoulders disappeared. His wife would stand near the kitchen doorway watching them together, smiling as if nothing in the world could break them apart. But sometimes the deepest storms arrive quietly. At first the changes were small. Late replies, cold conversations, silences during dinner. Her eyes no longer searched for him the way they once had. Arav blamed himself. Perhaps he worked too much. Perhaps he had become boring. Perhaps marriage simply changed people over time. He kept trying harder, bringing flowers, planning dinners, taking leave from work just to spend time with her. But love cannot survive where truth no longer lives. One evening, while searching for a document on her laptop, he found messages he was never meant to see, words that belonged to another man, promises, photographs, plans for a future that did not include him. For several minutes, Arav simply stared at the screen, unable to breathe properly. It felt unreal, as if his entire life had suddenly become someone else's tragedy. When he confronted her, she did not deny it. That hurt more. No tears, no apology, only silence. "I didn't mean for this to happen," she said quietly. But betrayal never arrives with permission. Their marriage collapsed slowly after that. Arguments turned into emotional distance and eventually into courtrooms, legal papers, and signatures that erased years of memories with a single stroke of ink. In the end, Arav received custody of their daughter. People congratulated him as though he had won something. But custody is not victory. It is responsibility wrapped inside heartbreak. His daughter was only 6 years old then, too young to understand betrayal, but old enough to notice absence. "Why doesn't Mama stay with us anymore?" she once asked while drawing with crayons on the living room floor. Arav felt something break inside him. He knelt beside her and forced a smile. "Sometimes adults lose their way," he answered softly, "but both your parents still love you." That night, after putting her to sleep, he cried for the first time in months. Not because his wife had left, but because his daughter would grow up carrying questions he could never fully answer. Years passed. Arav became both mother and father. He learned how to braid hair by watching online tutorials at 2 in the morning. He attended parent-teacher meetings alone. He packed school lunches, helped with homework, sat through fevers, nightmares, dance performances, and broken friendships. And every single time he looked at his daughter, he saw traces of the woman who had shattered him. Her smile, her eyes, even the way she tucked her hair behind her ear. Sometimes it felt cruel, because the child he loved most carried the face of the person he tried hardest to forget. There were nights when his daughter would fall asleep on the sofa while watching cartoons, and Arav would sit beside her silently, brushing hair away from her forehead. For a moment, memories of his wife flooded back so strongly that he had to look away. Not out of hatred, but because love does not disappear immediately after betrayal. Sometimes it remains alive inside wounds.